Okay, good afternoon. I'm delighted you're still continuing the networking, and there'll be more networking at breaks and all that kind of thing. So my name is Fearghas Ó Béara. I am head of the European Parliament Liaison Office here in Ireland. So you are very welcome to our premises. Some of you have been here before, but I understand from speaking to people around about that for most of you it's the first time that you've been in Europe House, which is the home not just of the Parliament but also the Commission representation in Ireland have their offices here, and then the Commission and Parliament share these lovely conference facilities and our visitors centre that you would have come in through for your registration. We call it the Europa Experience, which is self-guided, but we also have wonderful young bilingual Oscuelga freshen guides to talk you through the European experience, many of whom are actually Trinity students doing a few shifts combined with their studies. That's nice, from the European Studies Department and Irish Department. But it's also, and I was just saying to some people, you're welcome to kind of book groups in there, whether they are student groups or from your own activities. We love to see people coming in, learning about Europe and discussing about Europe. So we have various events on not just on academia. We've had the European Universities Alliance in here. Yesterday we did jointly with HEA and Fearghas about Erasmus and the future of Erasmus. So a lot of stuff in academic sphere, but also going right across the board. Today, delighted to be featuring one of the key policies going forward at a European level, artificial intelligence. I was saying to some people, I've just been here about 6 months. I've spent 27 years of my career in the Parliament in Brussels in a variety of roles. In the last 10 years, I was actually in the research service of the Parliament. We don't do primary research, it's policy research to support the members and hope that they do some evidence-based policy making and legislating. But AI came there too, because researchers are afraid that AI means they lose their jobs and all that kind of thing. So before I left, we were already working with AI together with the Commission Joint Research Centre. We had, developed an AI system that could help us research better for members and do things more efficiently, and then, gleaning sources, gleaning materials and digesting it. But that's a digression, but just a very practical example of how AI can be something that people are afraid about, but it's also something that can revolutionize how we do things, our lives, our societies. And then bringing it back to the political sphere and in the European Parliament, we are the first jurisdiction in the world to have, regulated and with our AI Act. And of course, that's coming under pressure from the other side of the Atlantic, as is our Digital Services Act, Digital Market Act, and so on. And they used to talk of the Brussels effect, of when the EU regulated something, then that often became the global standard. And of course, in industry, in academia, in research, you do need standards. You need global standards and agreed standards. But in a world where the rule of law and rules-based systems are being kind of called into question, that becomes more challenging. But it certainly underlines the need for very clear European leadership on these issues. And just looking down at the programme, what I'm, adapt here, it's based down the road at one of my alma maters in Trinity. But, the focus of this programme I can see very much outward. Even though you're grouping together the Irish, or many of the Irish universities here, what you're looking at is, collaborative research about Europe's digital defence and strategic advantage for Europe. And that understanding is there that in these challenging times, in this multipolar world where defence has become the watchword in many of the policy areas, and strategic independence, strategic autonomy right across EU policies, then we can only do things well if we do them together and see its European leadership and European rules-based operations that are going to get us somewhere, and it's wonderful to be able to host such a conference with that same frame of mind, approaching a very complex issue, complex for me as a complete heathen when it comes to anything technical. But it's we're from the same starting point, and that's why, from a European Parliament point of view, delighted to be associated with this, associated with all of your organisations and institutions and so on, because we're on the same trajectory. And you're very welcome. You're very welcome to come back here again in various capacities, and happy to host you. Thank you very much.